Alfred E. Penney and family migrated from Iowa in 1901 and began a dynasty of breeding and racing in this state that carries on today in its 9th decade. Penney settled in Natchez and raced at the first Longacres meeting in 1933 and well into the 1960s. Gramps Penney served as the first vice president of the Washington Horse Breeders Association. Son A.J. Penney naturally had an interest in breeding and racing, was a founding director of the Yakima Valley Turf Club, and was Washington Cherry King of 1957. His 3 children, Jim, Gene, and Bob, moved the Penney name forward to a lasting influence in this state's history. Jean Penney Harris became a school teacher, helped out with the operations accounting, and had show horses. Currently, she breeds and races at Emerald Downs under Clemens View Farm. Bob Penney was, from every account, a tremendously important individual, not only in Penney Farms operations, but the entire scope of the local thoroughbred industry. A graduate of the WSU Veterinary School, he did the hands-on work for Penney runners and many other trainers. He was a student of bloodlines, aiding in matings and purchases. He worked closely with track management on improving and progressing policies with horsemen. He procured nationally renowned guests and speakers that grew the WTBA's Horseman's Short Course. He was a president of the WTBA, and he furthered horse care through organizing shuttles to WSU and back.
Bob was quite a character and had a great sense of humor, and he was the breeding guy. And so I remember probably the first time I ever saw him was when Mary Lou Griffin and I made a tour of the state of Washington taking pictures of stallions. And we stopped at Penney Farms to take Ramesses and Zulu Tom. And Bob was unusual in that time frame in that he knew how the horses should have looked, and that made him a little different than some of the places where they had no clue. But anyway, but he was really actually quite helpful when we were doing that, and we got those cover pictures of particularly Ramesses. That thing is gorgeous. I mean, it's a really beautiful picture because he was a really pretty horse.
For the home operation, there were scores of winners and stakes horses. Mr. Banjo and Wunderbar in the 50s, Mrs. Wong, Wilbur, and Foskett in the 60s. The farm stood several prominent stallions, including Cold Command, Ramesses, Kotzebue, Berry Down, and Zulu Tom. Jim Penney was the everyday horseman, breaking and training, and an astute judge of talent. He made several highly successful purchases for Penney Farms and countless other clients. Jim and Betty Penney's daughters, Kay and Jill, loved horses and worked every summer for the training operation. They weren't, however, all that upset when school resumed in the fall and they could sleep in. Longacres Mile winners began in the early 1970s. Silver Mallet, purchased by Maurice Hitchcock. Theologist, owned by Arden Archer and Penney Farms, ridden by Kay's husband, Bryson Cooper. Jim Penney and family, Bryson and Kay Cooper and son Jeff, and Jack and Jill Fabulich moved to Homestretch Farm in 1990. Jeff Cooper was a successful jockey until he grew into full adulthood. An 11-time winner for Homestretch was Rainbow Rider, and her 1996 foal was Edinator. In his first career start, he opened up a 12-blank lead ahead of soon-to-be multiple stakes winners Vino Rossi and Mula Gula, and then coasted home to victory. 2 years later, Edinator was ready for another huge effort in the 2000 Longacres Mile.
A furlong to run. Can Edinator hold on as stopping? 2 in front. Big Ten is second. Then Handy and Bold and Crafty Boy. But Edinator by a length and a half is going on to win the Longacres Mile. Edinator first.
The team rejoiced with a homebred mile victory and a track record in the process. There were more mile wins. The barn had Bob and Bruce Sparling's Sabertooth ready for his very best on the Northwest biggest stage. And Paul and Lori Heist's purchase of Flamethrowing Texan gave Jim Penney and the operation their record 5th Longacres Mile winner. Arco Iris, a stakes-winning mare, has had 4 foals to race, all winners. Her son, I Keep Saying, broke Sabertooth's 6.5 furlong North American record.
And as they go inside the final furlong, this horse gets better and better. And I Keep Saying, to me, is a stakes quality horse. headed to better, and I keep saying will go on and win by about 5 to 6 lengths. That is a drumming.
Daughter Kay has been her father's very able assistant for 5 decades, and since Emerald Downs opened, she's overseen daily training. Jill has always been an important member with breaking, early lessons, and turnout care at homestretch. Jim Penney, who passed in 2017, was an inaugural member of the Washington Thoroughbred Hall of Fame. He was a great horseman and an idea guy. He saw the possibility of revenue from full card simulcasting before its time. He was behind the beginning of Indian relay racing at Emerald Downs and has been a mentor to many young horsemen. A tremendous legacy of breeding, racing, and service, Penney Farms is a deserved member of the Washington Thoroughbred Hall of Fame.